Hello, everyone. What is going on? My name is Timpedia, and welcome back to the TNT Podcast, episode 46, I think?
45?
45?
Oh God, every time.
Something in there.
We're
As,
gonna.
as
This
is
is
tradition.
yeah.
So, anyway, let's get right into it, because we don't have a ton of time today, because both of these guys want to do stuff at sharply within 2 hours from now.
Actually,
Yeah.
what I want to do relates very, very much to the first topic.
That's true.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's jump right into it. Avengers came out this past weekend. Val and I and our friend Ed saw it on opening day in a shockingly empty theater, although it was Friday before school let out, so I guess it makes sense that...
That was like middle of the day.
Yeah, we also went to a 3D showing because it was the only one we could get in with the time that we had between the wedding and the dinner.
Ew.
So,
Was it like it was coming right at you?
no, it wasn't. It was useless.
When Thanos was stabbing Adam Warlock through the face.
See, you say that, Tyler, but people might not know that that's not a spoiler because that Adam Warlock's not even a character in the movie.
Shut the fuck up. He was in the comics, all right. Adam Warlock.
Thank God
Whatever,
it's different
man.
from the comics, because all the comic douchebags who read this years ago would be like, "Oh my God, look, guess what happens, guys."
Nah, this is 100% better than the comic.
Oh, that's good to hear.
All right.
Good.
Oh yeah. What?
No,
What's up?
I was just gonna say, to no one's great surprise, Avengers actually beat out Force Awakens for the biggest opening weekend ever recorded.
Goddamn.
Not surprising. When I heard that Fandango had predicted pre-sale numbers that indicated at least a 250, and I think Force Awakens was like 255.
Oh yeah, but it left
It was
this
pretty
week. It was
guaranteed.
650 million worldwide.
Yeah, it's come on.
I'm like not even remotely surprised by
No.
these numbers.
Yeah.
Okay, who didn't expect the 10-year movie build-up thing to not
Yeah.
especially coming off the success of Black Panther?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that. You know, I gotta say, this is extremely impressive by Disney Marvel to start this whole movie verse, right, and keep it going for 10 years and keep the
Yeah.
hype going for
Dude.
when they announced Thanos, to have that hype going for 6 years and then deliver. Impressive.
Oh my God, it's been 6 years since we saw him at the end of Avengers 1.
Yep.
That's fucking crazy.
The thing
Impressive.
that's just amazing with the MCU is that like a lot of other movie series, all it takes is one bad movie to derail the whole thing. But like we haven't seen a movie that's bad enough to do that. Nor was there ever like a movie that came out and was like, "Is this the end of the MCU?" I was like,
Honestly,
"Nah, fuck it. The next
that-
one's gonna be better."
That time was around like Thor 2, Iron Man 3.
Oh
And
yeah,
I
those
feel like-
movies were not good.
I feel like since then they've really picked it up. Last week Ed was actually doing lots of prep to go see Avengers. He watched literally as many as he could. And we were driving to DC on Thursday night, and he's like, "Okay, I have time to watch one, maybe two movies tonight after we hang up." And I was like, "Okay, I don't even know what to tell you. Phase 3, all of them are good. Like, Phase 3 might be better than Phase 1 if you take nostalgia out of the equation. It probably is.
Nah, in my opinion, I think Phase 1 is fucking trash, except for
They're not
Like
actually that
Iron
good except
Man.
for Iron Man
Well,
1.
that's what I'm saying. I mean, but there's a lot there. Like, they were finding their footing, and it's cool that they found it.
like Iron Man was like an instant classic for me. But
Like,
man, the
go
rest of
ahead.
them were trash.
They weren't amazing, but
Like Captain
Hey, man.
America, I thought was actually terrible.
I didn't, dude.
Does Leslie know your opinion on this?
Yes, she knows,
I'm
or else
pretty-
she should know.
I've said before, I'm pretty sure Captain America 1 might be, if it's not the bottom movie, it's down near the bottom. And we just rewatched it, and it really is just so jarring. But let's stay on topic
yeah.
because we don't have that much time.
Yeah.
We're not going to do any spoilers because Freeman hasn't seen the movie yet.
No, unfortunately, I still need to watch a couple.
We can have a round table when Freeman is.
Yeah, I was just
Watched
going
it.
to say
The
without
problem is,
spoilers.
like we had watched, was it Captain America
We
2
watched-
the other day.
Yeah,
But
we watched
every-
Winter Soldier the
Every
other
time
day.
I'm gonna go downstairs and suggest it, you guys are like knee deep in God of War, and I don't want to interrupt you.
Mhm.
So,
You could.
but I didn't want to. You guys
There you
were
go.
enjoying your father-son bonding time.
We were balls deep
Boy.
in God of War on Saturday. Dude, I didn't
Yeah,
realize
that was when I was gonna be like, yo, do we want to watch Civil War? But I was
We-
like, no, I'm not even gonna bother asking this.
we got home from doing whatever the fuck we were doing at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. We played God of War until like 10 o'clock that night.
Now, Freeman, you can't interrupt their God of War because they have to finish God of War so that maybe they'll finally start watching My Hero. Maybe.
I gotta message you guys something later on.
Oh, okay.
Remind me after the podcast.
Okay.
No problem.
I was going to say,
Okay.
though, Tyler, just since you and me
Yeah.
have seen it, just for the people who are wondering our opinions,
Uh-huh.
just give like a 30-second, just what did you think? Like, with as little kind of...
Yeah, I can summarize it shortly. Definitely lived up to the hype. I like Thanos. I think Thanos is better in the movies than he was in the comics.
Cool.
Interesting.
That's how I feel, and like it sounds like I'm overhyping it, but man, it was worth it. Like I wish some characters got a little bit more screen time in some parts, but like outside that, like the experience of this movie was just like it satisfied it for me. Like it satisfied my want.
So this isn't really a spoiler. I'm gonna stand by the fact that I don't think it is. Freeman, I don't think, especially for you, just being the other, since we can't really talk to any of the listeners right now, I don't think it's a spoiler to say that going into this movie, you know that it's not a happy time.
Look,
regardless of how things go.
The meme community has been really, they stepped up their game and they haven't directly spoiled anything, except they really picked up on the whole someone getting pixelated and dying thing.
No,
as
I know
totally being plot lines.
So you know that it's fair to say that most people have figured that at least one or two people might die in this movie.
Yeah.
The most powerful thing that happened to me over the course of watching this movie was near the end of the movie. I told you guys that the theater wasn't too packed, and because it was cool. It was reserved seating. We had recliners, kind of like the really fancy one at the AMC near home. Freeman.
Nice. Yeah.
Near the end of the movie, we could distinctly hear a pair of kids in the back of the theater openly crying.
Damn.
Near the end of this movie.
Powerful.
Seriously though, like it was like, wow, it's like you realize that some kids were born watching the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and these are some of the heroes that they have had in their formative years. And so it really means a lot that they successfully, because kids in some way are the harshest and least harsh of movie watchers, so to know that they felt something from this really means, it seems like
kids gotta be
the most
punched in the throat every
Damn.
once in a while, all right?
Damn, Marvel for kids today is like Star Wars for 70s kids.
It is. Especially now that Star Wars sucks.
Wow!
Well, it's certainly not the way Star Wars was for the 2000s kids.
No, but
yeah,
I thought the movie was great. I thought it really couldn't have gone much better than it was, especially considering the task of building this cast. Like, there's so many people in this movie, and I really don't think, except for a few situations like you said, Tyler, I really don't think that anyone got short shrifted. Everyone really did get to at least show off a little bit their own personality, and that was great.
Mm-hmm.
So, wait, so they dropped the title of the next movie at the end of this one, right?
They did not.
They didn't?
No, they didn't.
Damn.
There was something that one of the
They
podcasts I listened to today.
reveal.
What?
Well, let's say at the end of the movie, they like set it up. Like, this isn't like a spoiler because everybody knows it's coming out. Like, they hint at like Captain Marvel at like the very end.
Like, Captain Marvel might matter in the next movie.
Okay.
Oh, no way.
Her movie's coming out.
Yeah.
Oh, no way.
Because
It's like this movie was announced already. Like...
Yeah, because Ant-Man and the Wasp is July, and then we're done until March when we have Captain Marvel, and then we have Avengers. So probably those two movies are going to factor in, especially because, as everyone can guess from the next movie, Ant-Man is not in this movie.
Right, yeah.
So it's like, oh, we got to see what him and the Wasp and Captain Marvel have all been doing that will lead into them probably taking part. Probably, we don't know because they didn't spoil or show anything. I mean, other than anyway.
All right, good.
Let's move on.
I thought it was just gonna be a confirmation that Ant-Man totally doesn't die in this movie. Congrats, here you go.
Worst
literally don't
superhero
shoot.
movie.
They do not show or mention him in any way. It just seems highly likely that he is doing something that might be tangentially related, or you'll just see the effects of this movie happen in that movie, which would be cool too.
Before we move on, worst superhero movie of the decade, huh?
Oh my god.
Yeah, said by Roger Ebert, who may he rest in peace as of 5 years ago.
Jesus Christ, whatever.
All right.
Look,
This
I
is
just put these troll shit in the show notes just to get a rise out of you guys.
All right. This is just a kind of minor news, but it's pretty hype considering my Let's Play of Witcher 3 finally finished last week. Actually, on Sunday. No, not Sunday. Saturday? Friday? I don't know. Recently. CD Projekt Red is going to be at E3 with an undisclosed RPG.
Oh, man.
What kind of
fucking
dumbass
hype.
shit is that? Everybody knows it's gonna be fucking.
Witcher 4.
See?
Yeah,
Game of the
baby,
year is this
let's
shit.
go.
So here's the cool thing that in my mind, it really probably is Cyberpunk. It's like almost definitely, but imagine if it wasn't. What else could they be working on that would be that? It's Cyberpunk, but it's cool that they didn't name, like, there's no officially leaked name of what it is. They just put themselves down as RPG.
They're gonna do that shit where it's like they have like the brand new trailer of Cyberpunk, like an actual like shit, and then at the very end they're like, "Oh, by the way, Witcher 4."
No, there's no way. They've openly said in interviews we're not doing Witcher 4 anytime soon. We can't do Witcher 4.
That could be a lie.
And honestly, having finished Witcher 3, there shouldn't be a Witcher 4.
See, I said that at the very end of John Wick, and then John Wick 2
Yeah,
came
but-
out.
Okay, Tyler, John Wick 1
And then I
doesn't
jizzed.
end with John Wick saying, I've been doing this for 150 years. I'm a little tired. I'm probably going to take a rest and retire. Like, John Wick is not like, I'm going to retire at the end of John Wick 1. He's like, okay, I'm back in the game because my fucking dog died.
No, he retired again. Because he's like, yo, I don't want to do this shit anymore. And like the opening of John Wick 2 is him like cementing his shit back in.
Oh my god. Also, the first movie versus the third game, I'm probably going to buy that the third game is actually the end versus the first movie.
Whatever, man.
Either
All
way,
right.
I think we can agree that we're both pretty fucking hyped for Cyberpunk to potentially be finally shown for the first time in what, like 6 years?
I mean, yeah, like you know, my aesthetic, man.
I can't fucking wait.
It's my aesthetic, the video game.
Yeah. It's Freeman, you've seen the teaser, I'm sure.
Yeah, it looks really cool.
For years, that teaser has tantalized so much. It's
Wait,
just
when did that
a-
come out?
Like 6 fucking years ago.
Oh my god, I didn't even notice that.
Yeah,
It was around when they were showing off trailer. Witcher 3 wasn't even out yet, and they had that teaser for Cyberpunk coming someday after Witcher 3 was done. And it's like, Jesus, guys, you really fucking led led everybody on for a while there.
yeah.
All right, and
Nintendo and Game Freak.
covered
Well,
up by note taking.
Sorry, I
Oh, well.
forgot. This is a story that everyone's talking about that I haven't confirmed details on.
Well,
But anyway,
Freeman, you talk about both of these because I think these are both yours.
so as of yesterday, Nintendo and Game Freak filed a joint trademark for the term Ultra Shiny.
Oh, jeez.
Get the
I
fuck out of
I'm
here.
very upset with this because it has two implications. The first of which is that they lied to us, and the Switch Pokemon game is actually just the third game in the Sun and Moon series, where you had Sun and Moon, then you had Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, and then now there's the third version of the remake of Sun and Moon, which were shitty games, and they're just going to call it Ultra Shiny. Or there's some weird gimmick, including like these Ultra Beasts and Shiny Pokemon, or it might just be a marketing thing where they're going to start distributing it online as like the shiny version of the Ultra Beast, and just
How about no
Coin
matter
it
what, it's
shiny Ultra.
dumb.
Point is, this is not what we want. Nintendo, go take your cardboard box, put Ultra Shiny in it, and throw it out, because that's not what we want. That's not what I want to hear right now.
Oh, yo, do we have? Are there sales reports for the Labia out? Because man, I don't
Oh,
hear
is
of
it
anyone buying
released?
it. It's been out for weeks.
I thought it was still in development because no one thinks
Fuck
it's a good
no.
idea.
I saw that shit in Walmart the other day.
What did IGN give the? Hold on, IGN up here. Let me see. What's the star number? 6.9. All right.
Get fucking destroyed.
So
Okay.
that's a 0 on IGN scale.
Goddamn.
They probably ended up with it's good for kids. That's it.
Even my
Which
one
is
homie who was
exactly
like,
what it's
"Oh,
supposed to
I'm
be.
gonna get a Nintendo Labia," and then he never did. He's like, "Oh, that shit came out." I'm like, "Yeah."
I
Oh.
lost interest after 30
Let me put it
seconds.
this way.
Actually,
I remember playing Guitar Hero 3 for Wii. Those controllers are cluttering up my house. Imagine that with just piles of cardboard.
which we already have at our house. So
Yeah,
I
we
don't
already
want
have that
any
at our
more.
house. We don't need Nintendo branded cardboard.
Yeah. So fuck that. Anyway,
On to more depressing video game news. There was a report today that one of the studios that Square Enix had hired to help work on the Final Fantasy VII Remake has completely quit. They didn't surrender their assets, and Square Enix said, we don't need those. So, rumor on the
What?
street is Square Enix is completely starting the Final Fantasy VII Remake over again due to licensing issues with the partner studio they're working on about using their engine. So much like what happened with Final Fantasy Versus 13, which took 10 years to become Final Fantasy 15, it sounds like the FF7 remake is starting over again. So
Seems
we're
solid.
expected to see it launch by 2030, assuming they can
Yeah.
get Kingdom Hearts 3 out by 2029.
right?
God.
You're right. I swear, at this rate,
I don't understand how a game company can do this.
I'll be married and have kids. Like, actually.
Final Fantasy 70 might be out before the 7 remake. No, they're too slow to do that.
True.
Low.
Final Fantasy 16 might come out before this remake sees the light of day. And not even the whole remake. Part 1 of 3 of the remake.
I am
Angry.
no, I'm indifferent. In fact, I like I'm kind of hyped for this thing. Like, it's all right. I can live without it, I think.
It's not a game I have to play, but the problem is, like, it's been 12 years since Kingdom Hearts 2.
Yes.
I
And you
can
know what?
only stay hyped for an announced game for so long before
Dude,
it
we
becomes
just talked about
irritating.
Cyberpunk. Come on. That's not
Nah,
even true.
All right, see,
12 years, Tim.
Yeah,
All right,
6 years. It's
Cyberpunk
going to be
is
12 by the time
different.
it's out.
because I know CD Projekt can like deliver, but like, man, my faith was lost in the Final Fantasy VII remake when the opening. I remember when the PS3 was first coming
that
out.
tech demo.
They came out with the tech demo, and everybody's dick got rock hard for this, and they're like, yo, and then Square Enix is like, oh, no, we're just showing off what the PlayStation 3 could do.
The best part
I
is
mean,
like they're like,
we
didn't even consider that fans would want this. They said that in one of their interviews. I'm like, are you fucking
Yeah.
kidding me?
Oh my
and
god.
and they're like, oh, you think we were actually gonna do this? Just please, we know you want 3 games of Lightning. Come on,
We know you want Agito 13 on PSP.
fucking actually killing me. Know what I don't understand? I think I might have said this on the podcast before, but man, Square Enix did a very good job of like fucking up their own games, but publishing this Eidos software though.
Yeah, that's what you get when you buy a successful company and then just let them do their own shit.
But like that was weird. Like, cause like Eidos, this is my opinion. Everybody can hate me for it, but man, I thought almost every Eidos game was fucking shit except Blood Money, like Hitman Blood Money.
Flat.
They were all fucking bad. And then when Square Enix took the reins and they're like, all right, we're like, except for Deus Ex, but essentially even then they're like, we're rebooting all these franchises pretty much, like from the ground up. They were all bangers, like every last one of them. Like, and they're all still like good. And I'm like, man, what the fuck? And I'm like, you can't even get Final Fantasy 13 working right. What is this? Like, this is your flagship franchise.
I'll say
There's a couple-
14's been pretty solid, supposedly. And
after they botched it and remade the whole thing.
Yeah, it took them a year.
No one relaunches an MMO. Like, you do expansions, but like that was unheard of, and people are still shocked that it worked.
Yeah, after they relaunched it, then it became successful. I'm
But
just glad 15 was good.
Yeah.
I'm so glad 15 was good. I was very worried. There were quote, if Final Fantasy 15 is bad in any way, I will never buy another Final Fantasy game ever again.
Whoa.
See, that's the thing. I'm very bored and need RPGs to entertain me, so I'm gonna buy 16 even if 15 was trash.
That's where you and I differ.
Yeah. But hold on. So the light at the end of the tunnel here is Square Enix is actually releasing an RPG in the next decade, and it's Project Octopath Traveler is like a month away.
Oh,
It's coming out like June or July. My point is they shut off the artwork for the front of the box, and it looks really good. It reminds me like the old like Final Fantasy 1 through 6 art style. Like not so much, but did I
play the demo?
I still haven't played it myself, but I've watched a couple of my favorite
really
YouTube channels
good.
go through it. It looks great, and I know I'm gonna love this game.
It's
And
really
Square
good.
Enix
You can
is
play
finally-
2 characters.
They're finally doing that thing that they don't do on their other games, where they just like release the game.
Mm.
That's it. That's my joke. Everyone laugh.
Ha 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 ha
ha ha.
ha.
All right, we gotta move on to other Japanese shit, Freeman.
All right, anyone else smell that? Because it smells like weeb shit.
Oh,
Oh my
here we
God.
go.
Let's get right into it. So, a couple months ago, I talked about the fact that this one anime that I really like, Shirobaka, which is all about an anime studio making anime in an anime. And it was really good. And they had an event like, oh, we're going to announce something. And then the event like just never happened. They finally had an announcement that Shirobaka, they got the original staff and director together, and they're making a movie. And everyone's money is on the movie's going to be about the same anime group making a movie in this movie. So we'll see how much the meta jokes can keep flying about this. But I'm super excited because I love that series. They're actually a pretty good number of announcements. This one, half of this is 100% confirmed. The other half, I'm not entirely sure it's confirmed. But they showed off the first real trailer for Attack on Titan Season 3. And I think Funimation already announced rights to it, and they're hosting the subtitled version of the trailer. So go check it out. It's really cool. But they did confirm, and this is a little unusual, Attack on Titan is airing in summer season this year, but summer would normally start the first or second week of July. Unlike other shows, Attack on Titan is starting in the third week of the season, July 22nd. So this was a little unusual. A lot of people suspect that just because Attack on Titan draws a huge audience watching it live in Japan, that the production team, which includes the channel that's broadcasting this for the first time, they were more than okay shuffling on the schedule to accommodate this. And I think it's because we're seeing this trend of studios not having enough people on hand and trying to do these split cores, like we saw with Food Wars. We also got announced that Tokyo Ghoul Re, which everyone thought was going to be 12, was actually planned for 24, but now it's going to be split core where there's a break in the middle for one season because, once again, these studios just don't have enough animators to do 24 episodes continuously. So it sounds like they're delaying the start of Titan in order to get it to go continuously. And then we got a, air quotes, confirmation that it's going to be 24 episodes long. And I say air quotes because someone posted a tweet on the anime subreddit, and I have no idea why everyone seems to think this one Twitter account is like verified source from Japan, but everyone treats it as word of law. So I'll go with trusting it and saying Attack on Titan's totally be 24 episodes. So at least we got that going for us.
Swede.
Any thoughts on Attack on Titan, or should I just move on?
I haven't watched, so I don't know.
Yo, that is a show you guys should watch.
I'm hyped. I'm pretty hyped for it. I mean, I was talking to this with my coworkers the other day, but I remember the first half of the season, of the second season, it was like, and then like the end of the second season was like, all right, I'm actually pretty back into this now. I'm ready for season 3.
Just because one of my friends always wants to watch with us, but he's not around when we watch on Mondays, we end up rewatching seasons of airing shit all the time. Like I've seen all of Food Wars 2 or 3 times, all of Hero 2 or 3 times because we have to rewatch with our one buddy.
Damn.
And Attack on Titan season 1, like watching it from start to finish with him, wasn't that great on the rewatch, but season 2 holds up really well. I think season 2 is actually way better done than season 1 is, just because of how enjoyable it is on the rewatch. Because it's not like, so Attack on Titan season 1 was all built around mysteries. Season 2 had the same kind of thing, but the payoffs for the mysteries were so fun to watch that I didn't care if I already knew what was going to happen next, because watching it was so enjoyable. Anyway, moving on to some slightly less Japanesey than normal shit. One of the classic shows of my high school anime career, Full Metal Panic. It finally got its 4th season after like 8 years since its last one. It started a couple weeks ago. I've been holding off because I knew Funimation announced they were going to be dubbing it within like a month of it airing. So I think Saturday is when it's premiering. But there was an announcement this week that the 2 main characters, the voice actor and actress for them respectively, who have generally moved out of the voice acting field, are coming back to voice these characters.
Whoa.
And then they've also confirmed, I think, 3 or 4 of the like not quite main characters, but prominent side characters are also coming back. Unfortunately, one of the voice actors has passed away since the last season, so we're not getting him. But it sounds like a majority of the cast was really happy to come back into voice acting to reprise their roles. So I'm super happy about that because the dub is way better than the sub for the show.
Word.
Yeah, no, the show's hard to recommend to people because the first season came out in 2002 and was done by a really shitty anime studio, and it has that distinctly, this is a 2000s high school anime kind of feel to it. But
I've heard a lot, like not a lot, but like I've heard of this anime.
Yeah, it's one of those
never
classics.
saw it though.
It's hard to recommend, but I really love it. It's called, this 3rd season is called The Second Raid, so it gets confusing, but The Second Raid is like, it's a 10 out of 10 in my books. Like, you have to watch everything leading up to it to understand like the bonds these characters have, because the 3rd season just tears you apart. It rips apart these characters and just makes you feel like I wanted to cry watching the end of that season. And that's not a particularly sad anime. So
damn, watch
your own discretion. More not quite Japanesey shit. Crunchyroll is starting to get more dubs, specifically owned by Aniplex of America, which is pretty unusual. Aniplex is the company that will go and charge you $500 for the Blu-ray box because they don't want to make their shit available. So it's weird that they're just letting Crunchyroll stream it. I don't know if Crunchyroll's like, paying hand over fist for this, but they started off some popular ones. They got Kill la Kill, and they got like 2 others. I think they got like Monica Magica, and maybe they got Fate Zero. I'm not sure. But point is, they're getting really popular ones, which is interesting. I know it might just be some of those are on Netflix. They already have like standard licensing agreements, so Crunchyroll didn't have to pay too much for it. But we'll see if Crunchyroll starts getting more of it, because now they won't. The shows they pick up, generally Funimation handles all the dubbing for it, and the dubs aren't available on Crunchyroll, so you have to go to VRV if you want both. So it's weird to see Crunchyroll partnering outside of the Funimation deal. But we'll see if that continues.
See how that goes, and
it might just be a
it sticks around.
Thing. Yeah.
Damn.
This one's been kind of floating around today, this week there was more announcements about it, but Yu Yu Hakusho's 25th anniversary is this year, and to celebrate,
get the fuck out of here! It's not 25 years.
Not in the U.S. It came out in the U.S. like 6 or 7 years after it came out in Japan.
That's still, I can't. I'm not that old.
Yes, you can. Shit. Hold on, let's do some mini research here real quick, because I've got the My Anime List app open on my desktop. Yu Yu Hakusho came out in 1992 in Japan. And when did it air in the US?
I think like what?
Probably 97, I think.
97, 98?
Hold on.
Whenever Adult Swim started.
No, it came out 10 years later in the US. 2002 was the first air date for Hakusho.
Oh, shit.
So it's the 15th, or maybe it's 25th of the manga. Point is, in Japan, it's its 25th anniversary, and to celebrate, they're releasing the entire series in one Blu-ray box. But in addition, they are including one brand new episode, and they did announce that the Japanese cast is reprising all their original roles for like the main 4 boys.
Shit.
The question is whether Funimation can get a hold of it, because I know for a fact all of those guys are still voice acting for Funimation. So if Funimation gets a hold of it, you are getting the original dub back for this.
Damn.
All I want to hear is Chris Sabat do Kuwabara's voice one more time.
I would like to get that box set if this last season wasn't so shit.
The thing is, they already sell each quarter of the series on Blu-ray for like $20.
See, that's what I would do. I would buy up until the story arc with the rogue spirit detective
dude or whatever. Oh yeah. Wait, are you talking about the one with like the territories and shit, where the dude with the multiple personalities?
Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah, that arc was cool. The one after I didn't like that much.
Yeah, no one liked, because that was the last arc where they have like a demon, like another demon tournament to see.
But like it's not really.
Yeah,
it's nowhere near as cool as the Dark Tournament.
Yo, the Dark Tournament was fucking
It was
lit.
so hype. Fucking Toguro. Anyway, Yu Yu Hakusho is a great show. I bought all the DVDs when they came out because Blu-rays weren't a thing yet, so I own that whole series on DVD. Definitely worth a watch. The dub is super great. Get back to the show notes. I completely closed out the window. Let's see. Now
what did Tim watch this week?
Let's engage other members of the podcast, not just have me talking a wall for this segment.
Well,
Tim,
no,
what did we watch this week?
I just don't know lots of old anime, so I don't really have anything to contribute.
Look, it's easy to change.
Oh my god. Anyway, yes, I watched anime. Freeman, are you up to date on these? Last week?
I am up to date on these.
All right, so
oh boy, what a
30-second
week.
Summary. Yeah, it might be the best episode of My Hero Academia to date.
Without ruining it for Tyler, fans of the manga have this running joke where anytime Midoriya does something in the manga, they all talk about how he's an absolute madman. And the plot of this week's episode was the thing that started that joke, where the comic came out and the first post in the reaction thread is, "What a fucking madman." So they've just been memeing about that ever since. But a lot of it's kind of like, of the top 5 fights of the series, most people generally place this at number 4, and they said that number 2 happens this season.
Oh
so
shit! We don't have, dude. This was like the hypest shit ever.
This is real fucking good. Just everything
my God.
about this episode was good.
That final shot,
music, the suspense, where it leaves you for next episode.
Freeman,
this is why I watch shonen anime.
Is that shot at the end of the episode, that little half step?
Yes.
That crisp. It's so good.
A lot of people stitch the panning shot together so you can see it all in one, like, large resolution image. I should post
that's
it later.
fucking cool, dude.
Yeah. No, this was a great week.
It was. I mean, I'm hyped for next week because I hope we get to see lots of other stuff going on.
We're definitely going to see the what's going on with Bakugo and Todoroki next episode. I'm very excited to see that.
Also, though, that bit when Aizawa steps out of the house.
Oh my god,
dude! Val and I our mouths dropped open. It was like, what the fuck, dude? Just like from 0 to 10,000, it's like, oh, is that permanent? No, My Hero was absolutely fantastic. I'm so glad we're watching the show every Saturday. It's so fucking good this season. Really good. Like, there hasn't been a single boring or bad episode this entire season. It's actually crazy.
Yeah, no, there's Studio Bones, when they want to try, they create absolute magic. The rest of the time, they create absolute garbage. But on this show, they're making
absolute madmen.
Yo, he is.
That's a nice hat, kid.
Yo, I'm pissed to find out those horns are just part of his hat.
Yeah,
like,
I said the same thing. I was like, come on. What? Why are the horns coming out of it? No, he's just a loser.
It's just a stupid
He's just
hat.
a fucking shitty kid.
He just watched Hellboy way too many times.
Damn. Yo, special bonus. Uh-oh. Oh, wait, what?
No, go.
Oh, no, before I forgot, we, at work, we were talking about who our waifus were.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, it was brought up. I figured I would mention that.
So who's yours?
Who's mine? Mine is Revy from Black Lagoon.
That's an interesting pick.
Yes.
I like it.
Right? I was like, God damn, she wears skimpy clothing and she kills a lot of people. She has 292 FSs. I like this chick. She's great.
So only 1/3 of that is kind of unique because the other 2/3 are pretty generic anime.
Yeah, dude, that's what it is.
Revy's a unique character.
Okay.
She's a very unique character. She is not like other.
In a very unique show.
She is not a nice waifu.
Uh-oh.
She's not nice.
She's the kind of waifu that will end your life in.
Oh my god.
And I'm okay with this.
Jesus. Also, Friedman, Food Wars. Now, since you didn't get to talk about it, the betrayal last week.
The betrayal.
That was like the best after credits sequence ever. Like, I was like, all right, I guess this episode ended on a weird spot, and they're like, nope. Fucking guess who's the villain?
Dude, and then this week he cranks it up to fucking 11. Oh my god.
The only problem I have with him, and this is in the discussion thread, a couple people said this too, is he's like slightly too edgy right now. Like,
he's so edgy.
Like in a very serious way. So in anime over the last couple years, they've brought up the concept of like kids who are in 8th grade who are way too into anime. They'll just act edgy for no fucking reason. And there's a lot of shows that bring this up and like play it up for gags. There's one show called something like I can't believe she still has 8th grader syndrome. Is that this guy who he goes to high school, he's done being that edgy kid in middle school, and he goes to high school and he meets this girl who still like pretends she has powers and shit. But every time they flash back to him as a kid, he does this fucking pose where like he puts his hand over his face, he bends his elbow in so it's crossing over his body, and he says some dumb shit like, "I am the Dark Flame Master," and it was played up entirely for laughs.
Jesus.
We get to this episode, and
It's totally real.
Mr. Betrayal is standing there with this fucking pose on the balcony, going, "Can you match my cooking, Soma?"
Dude,
and I'm like,
and even with the hair loose now, because he used to always have it up and professional, and now he's got his hair flowing everywhere over his fucking loser jacket and everything. Oh my god, Tyler! Basically, one of the main character's rivals' friends, like he has okay. So the main character has like this whole, obviously it's an anime. He has this whole group of friends, and one of them, at least a few of them, are like rivals of his. But then he has two guys that he's friendly with.
he's friendly, but they're more rivals than anything.
They're mega rivals. Like in the first big tournament arc, they were the 3 finalists. So they're like,
Oh shit.
they're big boy rivals. And we just found out last week that one of them had totally betrayed Soma's faction and joined the bad guys. And this week the whole week this week was the main character learning how to use this really tough ingredient. And at the very end of the episode, the guy walks in and is like, "Oh, you're gonna try that? Good
Damn.
luck."
And just curb stomps him.
Like the whole episode, Freeman, I realized at the end, like the whole episode, you start out super low. You're like, there's no fucking way. It's a spice challenge again against the Spice
It's
Lord.
always gonna be that.
And then he even comments on it in the episode. He's like, "Why do I always fight the spice guy in Spice Challenge?"
Such a good meta joke.
But then he's like, okay, he's learning about it. The ingredient they have to use is bear meat, Tyler, which is super like gamey and kind of gross. And the whole episode is like, okay, this sucks. Okay, I got an old enemy is helping me because he's kind of a shithead, but he's trolling somebody. Okay, I'm learning about bear meat. Okay, this actually tastes really good. And then the main guy walks in and is like, "Oh, I took one sniff and I could smell exactly what you're doing." Because of course he's got this insanely good nose. He's like, "Oh, I smell that. Yeah, that's not gonna work."
Yeah,
and then
good
he just
luck
kind of
winning.
leaves.
And leaves a dish down and says, "Can you even beat
Yeah,
this?"
he brings his own dish in and is like, and immediately everyone's like, "That smells so good." It's fucking so dumb.
So
Oh my god,
I feel
He's such
awful.
a traitor.
I keep forgetting his name, and this is a good story. Before I'd watched Food Wars with my buddies, we had just finished watching Kirko's basketball. And there's a character in Kirko who's essentially like the LeBron James of the series. He just can't be beat. So he's the villain for 2 seasons. And his name is Almine. And we wouldn't shut up on him because he's the coolest fucking character. And we're watching Food Wars, and they have the same voice actor, Junichi Suabe, and he has a tendency to voice these characters that have dark skin and like whitish hair. Because he also voiced fucking
Totally.
Archer in Fate Stay Night. So he keeps doing these characters. So instead of calling him by his actual name, Akira Hai, my friend just keeps calling him Spice Almine. And I'm like, please, for the love of God, call him by his real name.
Oh.
But this started extending on. So we're watching this show that takes place in like an alternate timeline, World War II, and this dude shows up. And it's the same voice. Everyone's like, "Yo, it's Nazi Almine." And I'm like, please, for the love of God,
It's Nazi Almine.
stop calling characters this.
Nah, he's clearly onto something.
Look, it makes it really easy because it'll be like, the second I hear the voice, I'm like, okay, what's the nickname for this guy going to be?
I don't know.
Unfortunately, he's Eraserhead, so I can't give him any better nicknames for hero.
Eraserhead.
Oh, Eraser Almine. No, it's
Yes.
stupid.
Wait, that's really the same guy?
It's the same voice actor. Yeah, dude, he's in
What
everything.
the fuck? That's totally a different thing. Aizawa sounds so lazy and bored all the
So
time. It's
with-
great.
With Hayama, he uses a much higher pitch than he does in his normal voice acting. Like, he's trying to intentionally sound younger with this role, which is pretty good.
Oh, speaking of My Hero, though, real quick, Freeman. There's 2 shots that have blood in them, I want to say, other than, like, the main bit. There's, like, the
Yeah,
stone
there's,
thing, and then the guy.
There's that thing on the ground.
So, those are not the same thing, right?
I'm
we
not
talked about.
sure.
I'm pretty sure the stone is the halfway point, and then the other one we don't know yet.
Yes, I think so.
Okay. Also, there's no paw, so it makes sense.
Yeah, no, there's a theory about who that belongs to, and that it's going to end up being a non-issue.
Oh, that sounds good. I'm happy. I hope that's a non-issue.
I mean, it's just a
there's
theory,
also-
but it makes sense in an anime that's aimed at like young teenagers.
I mean, there's also an issue about the way this episode ends. Like, situation's still not good.
Oh no,
and,
it's not cool, but it's hype as fuck.
Someone's in a bad way at the end of this episode. Like,
A lot of people are in big danger here.
what's gonna who's gonna help? It's kind of bad news. Anyway, let's just go right into the topic because Freeman and Luigi complained about having a break last week.
Well, actually, I
and-
kind of want to break now because I don't have any drinks in my room.
But okay,
The issue isn't taking a
fine.
break. The issue is saying we'll be right back, and then there's zero break. We should
Well-
really get some sponsors in here.
We should
Yeah.
get some sponsors,
Dude, we're leaving the door open to them.
like
Like
Wendy's.
Audible.
That's right. When we
Pet-
go up on
Wendy's.
iTunes, we can just insert the commercials there.
There we
Right.
go.
All right, listeners, we'll be right back, and we'll come back with our topic. It'll be that thing we talked about last week, where when you're in a D&D campaign, you got good and evil characters. How the fuck do you make it work? And we're back. Quick break. Right back into the topic that I just told you what it was going to be. D&D, good and evil characters in the same party.
Round of
Completely,
applause. Good
completely
Yeah, good
nailing that
job.
transition.
It was good. It was good. I'll
Also,
tell
I'm
you
eating-
what.
Also, I'm
What are
eating
you
an ice pop because it's hot in my office. So
Oh,
It's
shit. I
hot
could
in
go
my
for ice
room.
cream. I'm dying
we-
to turn on the AC, but I don't want to ruin the audio.
So actually, last week Val at the dollar store bought those little self-make-your-own ice pop things. One of those.
Oh yeah.
So since we've been buying juice more than soda lately, we made a bunch of. I think these are fruit punch ice
Ooh.
pops or something. They're just great to just rip one out and just crunch. So if you hear that, it's because it's hot. Can I just say before we get to the topic, it has gone from nothing to hot inside of a week.
Yeah.
I'm
Like,
really
we
not
left for
liking
the-
this. I'm not liking this thing where winter is 7 months and spring and fall don't exist. I'm not digging this at all.
Yeah. It's like last week I was like, oh fuck, it's cold as hell, and now I'm like,
Mhm.
Jesus Christ, I'm sweating my balls off. Over
Last
this.
It
week,
literally-
Black is my favorite weather, where you show up in the morning and like you need a jacket, but once the afternoon rolls around, get rid of that jacket. You don't need anymore. It's nice 50-something degree weather. I don't really
Yeah.
like when it's 93.
Yeah, it was like high. What was it? High at 93.
High
today?
it was 93 when I left the office today. It may have been
Holy
hotter earlier, but yeah,
shit,
it was 93.
Makes sense.
That's stupid.
It's May. Like I can't.
It's
I, wanted,
gonna be
I was
May.
here for in sync
Oh my
memes,
God,
not like
Tyler.
summer awful nonsense. Anyway,
Anyway, yeah, let's get to the actual topic. Talking about,
so I do that thing where I tell a story to lead into why I came up with this as an idea.
dude, fucking do it. We're probably in the story, so go ahead.
Yeah, no, this is going to come as a major point. But as we talk about a lot, we had concluded our Fable campaign within the last year, and this is a pretty big campaign for me. It was the first D&D campaign I've done all the way from start to finish. And a big problem with this campaign was I was a paladin. I had to be good. And as we know, as we heard from Luigi last week, Luigi's a villain who loves being evil. So having the two of us in a party was like we played this huge game to make it work. And I've asked a couple of my other friends who I know play D&D, and I always say, how do you manage having good and evil characters in the party? And he's like, you don't. Someone becomes good, someone becomes evil, the party kills themselves. It never ends well. But we have a couple stories of making it work, and I wanted to
I
talk a
gotta
little bit
say-
on this.
Freeman, as someone who's played D&D for a while, I do want to compliment you. For someone who had not played D&D really before at all, you really handled it well.
It was a struggle.
Yeah, you played your paladin as well as you could, given mine and Luigi's disposition.
It really is only. We're gonna get into it a lot more. I'll let you tell your story for sure, Freeman. It really does a lot boil down to. You just kind of have to ignore it, or it doesn't work. Anyway, go ahead with your story.
Oh, well, that was the story of what made me think of it, because every week I had to say here, like, how do I not detect evil on Luigi and know that I must kill him, because my character's goal is to vanquish all evil. For some reason, it worked with Tyler, because I know with you weren't going around doing shit like slaying people. Well, all right, I take that back, because you went on that. The first side mission you went on, you just murdered a bunch of merchants, but like you weren't actively pursuing people to murder just for fun. Like it wasn't like when you were evil, it was like you'd finish people off in combat in ways that my paladin probably wouldn't. I'll put it that way. Like,
yeah, it was like, oh, wow, Guts, that's a little bit.
that's a little brutal,
Hard.
but
But,
I
all right,
understand.
man.
Whereas Luigi was like luring kids into these like evil rituals where he kills them to make weapons, and it's like it feels like very different brands of evil. But point is, it was a struggle week to week for me to manage the fact that Luigi's doing the most evil shit on the planet, and I'm a paladin in this party. And a couple different schools of thought for handling this. I bounced around with a couple people I was talking to, and the one that worked for me the most was, at first it was make my character completely oblivious, but it really wasn't working. So I started rolling for it, and thank God I got lucky that I just didn't pick up on some of the stuff he was trying to pull. Like, I'm trying to remember if there was a good example of this where he was like doing something blatantly evil in front of us, and I was like, Tim, I want to roll to see how suspicious I would be of that action.
I mean, he also
warrants.
went out of his way to try to avoid being like like you said, he lured children to the Chapel of Scorn to get Scorm's bow, but on the flip side of that, he didn't do that in front of you.
Yeah, no,
Or
he
when
did.
him and
keep
Tyler
it secret.
massacred that town, they did it off to the side.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Part of this also has to do, and this was the thing that helped me think of it the most, because we did other campaigns, and I'll tell that story later. But in this one, I had to be very aware of what I knew versus what my character knew. So, real world, I knew Luigi was evil as shit, and I knew all the shit he'd been doing in the background. But I had to make sure to play the paladin, as if he only knew what he knew and make judgment calls based on like what he knows at that point in time. Like, if Luigi starts giggling, he's like, I'm going to do something evil, I don't immediately go, Luigi's got a look on his face, I detect evil. It's more like, well, he's over there doing something. We'll see what happens. And then, when he starts fucking stabbing people, then I get suspicious. But you need to have that separation of the player and the character.
See, the other thing is, that is very true, especially when it comes to role playing. But I think that taught a valuable lesson, because and that's why I kind of like set some ground rules for my game. I was like, listen, there is no like real evil. You can be like lawful evil, right? That's fine to an extent, but like there is no chaotic evil, like because that shit's gonna get complicated.
It doesn't fit with the world we're playing in.
Well, it's not even just that, but like at one point it just imploded. Like everything came to a head, and it started getting out of hand. Like when
you're talking about a separate campaign you were doing.
No. In ours.
In ours?
The lighthouse was definitively.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were talking about the one you're running right now. I got confused.
Oh no. Like
the
lighthouse was definitively.
Tell the listeners what happened at the lighthouse.
So we all catch up to, who was it? Dad? Was it Dad in the lighthouse? I'm forgetting.
No, it was some evil dude.
Anyway,
to, like, revive the villain from the main plot line.
And we get to him, and then Johnny C, Luigi's character, is like, "Oh, I'm gonna join your side," and then everybody was like, "Oh, what the fuck?" Like, Johnny C, what?
He's telling to the villain that he's gonna join their side.
Yeah, he's
out of the blue.
Yeah, and then it's like, what the fuck? And then like Guts me. I'm like, what would Guts do?
The best part is my character's struggling, because I'm like, the only thing I would do right now is actually detect if he's evil to see if he's legit or not. But the problem is that compromises the party, and then I have to kill him. So before I had to make that decision, Tyler steps in.
And I'm like, no, Guts. I like sat there. Everybody saw my face for this. I was like, I have to do this. I have to do it. I have to do it. And like, because I was there for the first, Guts was there for the first ritual that he did. Like, he saw like Johnny C like kill people, and he's like, yo, I'm not gonna be a part of this anymore. Like, blah 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 blah. And so, and at one point, like Luigi breaks Scorm's bow and he gets it repaired, and Guts is like, what the fuck?
Translation, he killed more people.
He killed more people. And so Guts is like, what the fuck? And Guts is lawful evil. And so he gets so filled with rage that like Johnny C, like he's not even surprised that he would do some conniving shit like this. He just starts attacking him. So it literally goes into like Guts was I was actively trying to kill Luigi, and I'm like, this is the worst. And then so we were basically fighting with like one hand behind our back for that fight. What turned out to be what was supposed to be like a normal fight ended up being like, oh, Johnny C trying to defend himself from me. It was awkward.
I loved it because I'm sitting there and I'm like, I'm gonna make the tough decision. And before I say a word, you're like, I roll to chop his fucking head off, and I stopped there. I'm like, oh man,
Oh no,
man, this got out of hand real fast.
all I know is that if this was like low level, he would have died.
Mm-hmm.
But like the 3.5 scaling, like, or really anything, any Dungeons and Dragons, like if like spellcasters in the beginning are super like squishy, but if they're able to survive to like the higher levels, like they get fucking busted.
Oh yeah.
And so like we were pretty much equal. Like I was doing damage to him, and I think Tim I think you saved his life.
Probably.
I was doing chunks.
I mean, I'm pretty sure I didn't want you guys to kill each other.
I know. Should have just let it happen.
I know it's hard to believe, but you know, would be
Yeah,
nice if 2 of my players didn't die. Oh,
Hey,
well.
I have no sympathy.
Oh, I know.
If you die, you die.
I know. Val fully expects to die in our game after what you said when she almost blew up.
Unless I fuck up, it's like, all right, I might do some fudging, you know?
Like just some character crits unnecessarily and just instant murders half the team.
Yeah, it's like, oh fuck, I really didn't intend for 3 of you to die.
I just like
That
hype.
shit too. Yeah, I like hype too. And plus, last time, all right, no, I'm not getting off track. Not getting off track.
Oh, come on.
Good and evil characters. I definitely like the dichotomy. Like, it was very interesting. Like that, like was almost a meta game in itself. With at least not like playing meta, but it was like, oh, it was an interesting balance to see how far we could get.
Mhm.
But at the same time, it was very difficult, especially for Freeman's character and our character. And like literally, it's like every week, I think we ask ourselves, like, is this week the week?
Is this the week where we finally kill each other?
Is this the week? And then like it came out one day, like, but like at the same time, like it's bad, but it opens up for some very good RP, like towards the end. Like Guts makes some like pretty like crazy like character changes, and like so does Johnny C, right?
Mm-hmm.
To an extent. But
I still don't know what happened that caused him to pivot to being like going. What do you go from evil to neutral? Or went from evil to good.
I think I made him. It would have taken something so catastrophically weird for me to make him go good. I probably went to neutral.
I'm not gonna lie. I had a strong pull in the party because I remember Val was neutral, leaning evil, and then I just totally forced her to be good for no apparent reason.
Well, she also found religion.
There you go.
She found religion.
I may or may not have had a hand in that.
What? She did. That's not even an exaggeration.
No, I'm just mad because of the session we spent in the church.
Oh.
So-
That was by far one of the worst sessions I've
She
ever
said
had.
she was RPing. Stop it.
It's fine. I ate an ant
Tyler.
that had human
human
intelligence.
sentience.
That was amazing. That, like, out of that story, like, that story happened.
Look,
And
man,
that was one of the best.
every time my character dragged you guys to church with me, you would do some cool shit out in the yard. Like the one time you went to go pull the sword out, like messed up, and then just insulted that dude whose like wife was dead.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That dude, and who may or may not have killed himself.
See, every time we went to church, you guys had a great time.
Yeah, no. Guts enjoyed going to church for things that were not Avo related.
Yes, for things that happened directly outside of the church building.
Actually, I think Guts may have only stepped inside the church once. I explicitly said Guts does not go into church.
Plus the ending.
Plus the ending.
Yeah. Look, man, I spent that whole campaign pursuing what essentially amounts to I wanted my character to become the Shining Gundam from Mobile Fighter G Gundam,
Hell
where he does
yeah.
the Shining Finger. So I'm looking for this gauntlet of just glowing battle damage. So that was the whole reason I kept dragging him there, was this internal quest line I had going. But back on the good versus evil thing.
Yes.
So I'll put it this way. It takes a lot of conscious effort to make it work. I remember, this is my, and I hate to bash about this is my least favorite example of how to manage good and evil in a party, but we were in the Codex Alara campaign we talked about last week. This was the one I was telling the story about. We were on the boats, but this was way earlier in that campaign.
Boats.
At the very beginning, we were part of this caravan moving between two cities, and we had to protect. Well, okay, there was a caravan emergence, and one of them in particular was important. We weren't sure which one it was, but we were just like, we got to protect this whole group. Then the group was under siege by, I guess it was like a bunch of bandits. But point is, there was one guy who, I think he was with the bandits, but like we wanted information, and he had just gotten shot with an arrow thing. He's unconscious. So me and Luigi, who in this campaign we're both evil. I'm lawful evil. I'm trying to do the whole soldier who doesn't care how he kills you, but he's just trying to be greatest soldier of all time. I don't know. My characters have this,
so Guts.
A little bit, yeah. But this is before Guts was a character. This is before I met him.
Right.
Yeah. Luigi is, at this point, he's the only healer in the group, because I think our previous healer stepped out of the game at this point. So Luigi and I drag this guy into the woods to find a stream so Luigi can heal, because he needs water nearby to heal him.
I remember this.
But while we're doing this, I think we almost killed him. And it wasn't like out of... No, it wasn't we almost killed him. We discussed not healing him and just leaving this guy behind. And I'm already forgetting the plot details. But the point is, we start describing what we're going to do, and then Val stepped in and she's like, we should stop him because these guys are evil. They're just going to kill him. Even though I think at this point, Luigi and I had decided we were going to heal him. And that was the part of like, come on. You don't know that. You don't know what we're going to do. And it was a big, like, it was meta against us, and I didn't like that because it hurt the way our characters had to behave. And I'm not trying to knock them down for this. I'm just saying, like, this is one of the things that kind of kills times when people are like, well, I know they're usually evil. Maybe I should stop them. But there's nothing they actually did that would set your character off. So that's the number one way to make it more difficult than it needs to be. But thankfully, Luigi and I didn't do that much evil shit in that campaign, so it was fine.
No. Also, that campaign didn't really, leave lots of opportunities for
No, there was a lot of
evil
combat
stuff to happen.
A lot of high-speed heists, which was fun.
Not my fault.
Look, if we could go back to that universe, I would love to jump back in for a campaign. I thought it was really cool.
Man, I wish. Rereading the books. So I'm rereading the books, like I said, and I'm getting to the point where I'm on. I just started book 3 the other day, and I'm getting to the point where, like, at work, every time I'm on break, I just grab my Kindle and go read a little more. It's so... I'm just flying through them again, because it's just so exciting to watch the build-up again.
How many books are in that series?
6. And they all basically take place 2 years apart from each other. It's so fun. I actually would love to put you guys in a scenario where it's more during the books.
Interesting.
I'll have
to avoid reading the books then if we're going to do that. I don't want to know the plot.
No. Read the books.
Okay.
If you want to read the books, do it, and I'll figure something else out.
Nah, I'm boycotting the books.
Yeah.
Tyler, it's by Jim Butcher. You can't.
Why do you think I'm boycotting it?
Oh my god. Look, it's not his fault.
Fuck him. No, he's going that George R. Martin, fucking Patrick Rothfuss shit.
Tyler.
I don't like it.
Real quick, because you mentioned George R. R. Martin. This is really funny. So at work, we started doing our whole department just goes in and does video training on I forget what it's like, Microsoft. They have this whole training program. Point is, they put out this new one for API development. And this one guy is going through a sample API, and he makes this one that just pulls books based on what author you requested. And he just spent the entire half-hour video making jokes about Winds of Winter not coming out.
Wow.
Every API says, let's search for George R. R. Martin. Let's get the release of this book. Oh, it's not released yet. I hope it'll be released by the time this video goes on the internet. And it's just joke after joke about him not releasing books. And then he finally picked a different example. He's like, oh, let's use an author who actually releases books. And I was like, I was laughing so hard, but no one else on my team like there are a lot of older developers. They're like, they just don't know what's going on with it. So like, what's he talking about? I'm just laughing at this.
Damn.
That's great.
Hey, what were we just saying?
We were talking about
Jim Butcher
Good
not
and
releasing
evil.
books.
Jim
Yeah.
Butcher not releasing shit.
Good topic.
Yeah, right. I don't know. Like I enjoy it, but like it's difficult. It's super difficult
Stressful.
It is stressful, but I like it. Like it's a double-edged sword because it can be fun, but it can also just be really annoying to the players and the DM. Like I know it was a pain in the ass for you.
It's it's one of those things where you really just kind of have to ignore it if you want it to. Like I said before, so I started playing in this Wednesdays game, and even though with the original party we had one guy was playing a barbarian, obviously barbarians can't be lawful, but I'm pretty sure he was evil. He was just butchering goblins who had surrendered to us and shit like that. And one guy is also a paladin, and they're the two guys who are super mega ultra into RPing. But they would kind of yell at each other a little bit and then just not actually do anything about it. And it's like, yeah, that's kind of the only way you can do it. You can yell at each other, but if you want the party to survive and actually play the frickin' game, kind of just need to back off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
Yeah.
But because if you don't back off, then you have what I talked about last week, where you have a character who just wants to be chaotic evil because they secretly want to be a serial killer. And no, I can't say that. That might be too much, but he definitely wanted to be a dickhead in a game. So yeah, that's no fun. When someone's like, I just want to be evil because this is fantasy.
Wait, I thought you were talking about Ed for a second there. Are you talking about... All right, good.
Ed goes crazy, but he's not evil.
Yeah, the one time we played with Ed, I think he was actually evil in the vampire campaign we were doing.
And he's like cackling, laughing evil all the time.
God.
But thankfully, like, it was the kind of campaign where even if he was doing evil stuff, the good characters didn't have the motivation that they wanted to stop him. It was more like, okay, you go do that, but please don't stand too close to me.
Didn't he try to join the vampire clan? The clan that like is a super just kill humans and drink their blood for parties.
Yeah, he tried to do the one where they just kidnap people and have like blood drinking parties, the same way they have a wine tasting party. That's what he was going for.
Yep.
But then he tried to just orchestrate this pedophile drug ring. I don't know. That was
Jesus.
Oh my God.
He was like off on his own for a bit. Ed had a field day and a half in his vampire campaign.
But also, he had an assistant, Tyler, because he had maxed out his his command score or something. So he had an assistant, and he was the most tortured assistant. Like, we would ask him to drive us around or get us rides, and he would just look at us. And who was running that game?
It was DJ.
Oh yeah, Mr. DM. We don't talk about.
Damn, Mr. Trash DM. Not as trash as me.
He would just kind of say things like, I forget what his name was, but he would just look at us and just have a sad look on his face.
Every time a done request would come in, he would just look back sad at the whole group and just start doing it.
Like, oh, I'm so put upon.
Especially the request like, oh, go find me some young lads.
Yeah.
Oh God. Jesus
It'd be like,
Christ.
go find me young men. Oh God. It was classic.
Look, Ed's character was not a role model. But it was certainly interesting to see what he'd come up with next.
But yeah, it definitely has a double-edged sword. Like, if things go wrong, the party just doesn't work anymore. You can't do it without someone dying and making a new character, because it kind of ties in with the danger of paladins even more than just good versus evil. Paladins are so dangerous because while they are so powerful, they really kind of have to take a hard line.
Yeah.
It's limiting.
Like, you have to kind of figure it out with your party, but in a general sense, they should probably just be killing anyone who's actually... Like, if they detect evil and you're evil, you should probably be killing that evil, because paladins are like, yo, fuck
Or
evil.
like you're practicing some like necromancy off the side. It's like, yo, that shit's forbidden. and they're like, "Oh shit, come on, man! Like, no, I have to kill you because of my faith. Like, I have to
Like-
banish this evil."
Like I said, you can talk about it, but it's not something you should just go in and be like, "Oh, I'm a paladin. Oh, well, I'm a chaotic evil barbarian. We'll just get along great."
That's
It's
kind
like,
of how
no,
it
maybe you
happened
should
though in our
talk about
campaign,
it.
where I was like, "I'm a paladin." Lee's like, "Well, I'm a chaotic evil bard," and I looked at him like, "Oh no, this isn't gonna work at all."
And you
Yeah,
know what? This was Tim's fault. He's like, "Yo, pick whatever alignment you want, bro."
Well, I did say that.
The thing is, we
because
all
it
went through
was
with like
true.
character creation separately, and then just revealed it when we were already done. So there wasn't any like in-group discussion at all. It was just kind of the big reveal.
Nah, but that's how it should be, though.
Yep.
The thing is, it is better to do it. You don't want everyone like metagaming too hard.
That's also true.
Yeah, it's like, "Oh, we need a healer." It's like, no. I almost feel like you guys metagamed almost
For our team?
for our team, but I know you didn't.
Who
Oh
did?
no, I picked monk because I thought the key system was cool.
That's what I'm saying.
And you told me warlocks were a busted sorcerer class, so
They are, because Eldritch Blast is fucking busted.
Eldritch
Yo, it seems real
Blast.
cool.
Eldritch Blast is good.
Yo, playing 3.5 on Wednesdays every other week, and I'm like, magic missile. Okay, I did 5 of them. I have to save one. I'm done now.
Yep.
I can't hear magic missile without hearing it in that one guy's voice from Harming
Yeah.
Quest.
Magic Missile.
Hit it with my magic missile.
Oh my god. Seriously, you guys should just watch season 2.
Yeah.
We should.
Yeah, I'm pretty
If you guys
excited for
watch it,
tomorrow,
like-
though. I
Oh,
think you
tomorrow's
guys will
D&D.
like this.
Oh,
Yeah.
D&D.
I think you
was like,
guys will
what's
like this next
tomorrow?
section.
Oh. Cool.
Yeah. At least I hope.
Can't
I
wait.
hope it's good.
Dude, I always enjoy D&D. I don't think I've had a bad night with this campaign yet.
Oh, that's good to hear. I'm always
I mean-
worried you guys
mean-
hate it.
I mean, my character
Oh my
has had an
God.
emotionally bad night in this campaign,
Right.
but I've never had a night where it's like, oh, God, what's going on here? It's
All right,
been
that's good.
consistently good.
I am glad. I try to keep it as exciting as I can.
Side note, there's now a My Hero Academia Japan crate where you can get Japanese
Jesus.
snacks.
Jesus.
I don't know if it's available in the US, but it's fun.
Probably not. I don't think.
It's called Japan Crate.
Actually, if it's called Japan Crate, it's probably available in the US. That sounds like it's marketed.
It has a it has a, what's it called? Taiyaki, the fish thing.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Yeah.
It has one of those fish cakes. That's adorable.
Yeah. The first time I got one, I thought there was fish in it. No, it's just like it's light, fluffy bread with like a cream filling. They just love making it shaped like fish. This is 100%
On
like
topic.
aimed at America
Yes.
because Funimation is a co-partner for this.
Oh,
Oh,
God.
hell yeah, dude.
Of course.
Um,
What was I saying?
advertise
Oh, yeah.
for
I
the
want to
American.
try to play an evil character. I really, well, I did in Guts, but I feel like I want to go like loose cannon. Like, I don't give a fuck. They're dead. And like, I ran one of those. Like, that was like my side campaign, that one shot I ran a couple weeks ago. That was like kind of like an evil thing going on. But I was like, man, I kind of just want to be loose cannon. I want to be you in that session like 0 shit, that like one-off we did, Tim.
Yeah.
We just threw a motherfucker out the window. I'm like, yo, this is
That was the
dope.
greatest.
I was
Oh my
like,
God.
I like the whole time I was like, oh my god, I want to do this though. I have to penalize him sort of, but that was awesome.
Wait, how far in advance did you guys do that one before we went camping?
A while.
Yeah, it was a break.
It was a while.
Was it like while you were still working out the system for the world?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Well, actually, no. I'd actually written a decent amount. Actually, I wrote a decent amount when you guys like asked me to like do this, or if I would like to do this. And I was like, all right. And I had like this idea, and I was like, all right, let's try it out. And so we did.
Hmm.
And I was like, all right, this is pretty good. I need to tweak it some. And then now here we are. And I'm still trying to like test out some other stuff too, to see how that would work. Like so far, I like the automatic weapons, even though it fucks shit up. I think that'd be fun, especially for you guys to have.
Definitely.
Like they're busted weapons, but I feel like they can be balanced correctly.
Yeah, we had the chance to use in the last campaign. I think of the 3 times anyone tried to fire once they hit, it was pretty good.
Yeah.
It was pretty deadly in that game.
Fucking, but yeah.
But thankfully, with that campaign, regardless of good or evil, everyone is trending towards just lawful as a thing. So I feel like that's another thing you do if you're good and evil. As long as you've got the same, like, other half of the alignment right, it's a lot easier to work. So, like, if you focus on what you have in common instead of what you don't, it's easier to make the characters work, and that's a life lesson outside of D&D. That's also from Pokemon, the first movie.
Oh God.
We might as well. I mean,
before we go off to weeks or anything, I would like to tell a story because I missed out last week.
Oh, the extra D&D story.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this one is very recent, and it was definitely great. Except like, so this is the other night I played my game. Also, this is also the night I rolled 5 ones.
Yeah.
It was soul crushing on top of having a really shit day. But there was one section in the session that I was like, man, this is fucking sick. So I play this monk named Aerolus, right? And we travel to this different dimension. We get transported there because my DM likes just teleporting us without letting us know. So we go to this place called Whitley Scud's Magical Kingdom. And where the water is pink lemonade and the sky is pink, and the trees are like, out of a Dr. Seuss book, and bears are fighting. It's crazy. And so they're like, I see these bears fighting, and I'm like, yo, where'd you learn to fight like this? And like, oh, we learned from the 100-armed Cyclops. And so my party's like, yo, we can go with you to the 100-armed Cyclops if you want to learn. And I'm like, yo, fucking sick. And so we make this trek up there. We do this whole 80s montage segment where I'm training and all that shit. And I end up learning like a special move at the very end of like this whole training montage. Like this was Aerolus's story arc, pretty much. But in between that, we had a little PvP session where we had like this
PvP.
Yeah, it was like a whole tournament like session where every one of us fought off against each other. And which I thought was pretty clever because my DM thought we needed to learn to work as a party. And honestly, we don't. Like, our characters are very conflicting of each other. And he's been pressing the fact that like we need a leader. Like, one of us needs to be the leader, but the problem is like all of our characters don't really respect each other enough to do that. So it's kind of hard. I don't think he's going to get what he wants, but it sucks. He's just going to have to deal with it. And a part of this whole not trusting, certain people, this came way back for Airless during like a couple of sessions in when, who was it? We were trying to investigate this drug ring, right, in this town. We track this guy down. We bring him back. We sneak him into the hotel that we're staying at, and we're interrogating him. And me and this other guy, Yag-Yob. Remember I told you guys about Yag-Yob?
Yes, I remember this name.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah. And so him and I were interrogating this guy. We accidentally kill this guy. Complete accident.
Oh,
and
shit.
It turns out later it was from the drugs that he was like pumping into his system. And so we're like, shit. And then so he decides like, I'm going to go pin it on another party member. And I'm like, what? And I'm like, he's like, yeah, like I'm just going to like hide the body in our other party member's room and it'll be fine. Like they'll think it's him. I'm like, dude, I can't let you do this. He's like, oh, come on, it'll be fine. I'm like, what? Like, and like Tyler's like, what the fuck is going on? And so Airless is like, I have to like stop you. Like, this is fucking nuts. Like, they're our friends. And so he had a wand of sleep. Right? And he fucking like puts me to sleep and then he thunder waves me like into the fucking wall. Right? And then so I get knocked out one hit. And on top of that, he's like, oh, I'm going to burn this place down. The hotel. So he was burning the hotel down with me inside of it.
Oh,
And
man.
then the DM pretty much came in and put a stop to it. And then the whole time he's like trying to tell everybody, he's like, yo, listen, this dude tried to kill me. It's been very bad blood between me and this character since pretty much the beginning of the campaign. And it gets to this point where like, you know, we've leveled up. I got all this stuff. And I get down to like the last, you know, like Airless gets to the end with Yag-Yob. Yag-Yob makes it to the end out of the party. And so and then I'm pretty much like, I'm gonna fucking destroy you. Like I'm completely out of Airless's character, like I'm gonna fucking destroy you. And he's like, no, you're not. You're not even gonna touch me. Fucking I stun lock him.
Oh.
And he didn't touch me once.
Oh my god. This is like the "what are you gonna do? Shoot me" meme,
dude.
but in a
what are you gonna do? He tried to reduce size me. It misses. He failed it because it was like I had to roll a con save, and I rolled like an 18 on the con save. And he's like, "Oh shit!" And I just kicked the shit out of him.
Hell yeah, dude!
And like it was retribution at its finest. Like I was like, I feel good. Like before every fight, like formal fight, like Airless bows. He's like, you know, I hope this is a good fight. Blah blah. There was no bow. There was no anything. It was just a straight ass whooping.
Flat.
Unfortunately, the sensei, the master that I was learning from, he did not like the way I fought Yag-Yob, but apparently he understood that it had to happen. But yeah, that was fun. It was great. That was a fun story because it was literally the rage. Like the rage like consumed Airless this whole time. He's like, man, I gotta get this motherfucker back somehow. Like I gotta get him back. And then this was like the ultimate opportunity to embarrass him in front of the rest of the party. And and it happened. And like and Tyler kind of feels it, and like Airless feels it. Like, okay, now that I have gotten over this, maybe like now he's even thinking like maybe I can even start to forgive him. You know, I mean, Yag-Yob's like, oh yeah, I let you beat me, because that's his character.
Sounds accurate.
Yeah, but like, yeah, it's stuff like that. Like it's character shaping stuff like that that makes D&D fun.
Hell yeah!
Definitely.
And I'm probably not gonna forget that story, not because like it was like it felt good to win, but it was like, oh man, like this was like for a character, like this was almost a turning point. Like this was like a defining moment. So like yeah, that stuff is fun. And like when I see you guys interact, like I gotta say, with this campaign, I feel like I put a lot of stuff together, but I feel like I do the minimum. It's like I put like, you know, the maps and everything together, and like it's almost like I just throw in the enemies, and then like you guys get
characters
thrown
drive
in.
the action.
Yeah, like you guys drive the story. Like I have the story like mapped out. Like I have like, you know, okay, this is what I want them to do next, right? Or like here's the scenario, but how are they gonna play it out? And I think that's the best. And you guys like
how much of the child soldier camp mission did you have actually planned out?
Honestly, I had
like, there's a gate, they'll figure it out.
I was like, here's a gate, here's this. They can literally go about this as many ways as they could, like, because like Tim gave me inspiration at that first like session, right? Where Woo. Yeah, like this was cool, and I was like, oh, you know what, like I should leave it as open as I can to interpretation of this, and I hope they keep doing this. But like when Tim when you guys found that, like, you know, that lid that had like the electric sigil on it. Like, I thought you guys would find some way to disarm it, and Tim was like, "Oh yeah, there should be rubber gloves around here." I'm like, "Yo, it's so simple and effective."
Mhm.
So like, I hope you guys like. I was like, I hope they like find similar things like this lying around. So like, I don't plan a lot. I'm like, okay, this should be, you know, good enough for their party to fight. I think they'll be all right here, and then I just toss you in and let you guys go.
Hmm.
There really isn't a lot of planning. Like, obviously, like there's the scripted stuff, right? Like there's the actual plot. But as far as problem solving goes, like really anything is possible. Especially with any encounter. Like, I have my win conditions of how I feel that it'll go,
Mm-hmm.
but like that doesn't happen. Like, I mean, I didn't think that many kids were gonna die, honestly, though. I won't lie. It just kind of happened. It just kind of happened. Did we tell the story about how Val's character almost got?
No, but we're gonna save it for D&D Stories Part 3.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that works.
If
We gotta
slash
keep
when
some
that
stuff in
happens.
the arsenal.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, that's good. All right. Then yeah, we can move on. Yeah, I just wanted to contribute my D&D a little bit.
All right.
All right, now we definitely have to.
We're right
Yeah.
on schedule
Get to the
for
weeks,
when I
yeah.
said we would finish the topic. All right, so we'll move on to weeks then. I will use this opportunity to apologize to Tyler for basically disappearing despite living in the same house as him. So story time. So my guild and Guild Wars, we've been spending the last couple weeks learning raids because if you asked us a month ago, none of us knew how to raid in that game. Last week we had the idea that, all right, we're gonna fight the hardest boss in the game on Sunday, but we're gonna need a lot of time to practice. Let's see how fast we can do literally every other raid we've spent all Sunday learning, all previous Sundays. So we spent every night we were doing more of them. We got really good at it, and Sunday rolls around. We spent an hour and a half going through the one raid to get to like AK, like hardest boss in the raid system, right? Or it's an exaggeration. Formerly hardest boss in the raid system. So we're fighting this, and we start at 3:00. We're at like 5:30, and we still haven't killed this boss. And I'm the tank, so I have 90% of the responsibility in this fight, and 10% of everyone else was just failing miserably, and it was causing me a lot of grief. We ended up fighting that boss for 5.5 hours, where I had to be like, I had to be focusing hard. Like, the boss has two big attacks I'm looking out for. One is where they swing their sword, and one is they swing their sword and then immediately start doing this like flurry of blows. When they do that, I have to also use my flurry of blows, so we have this kind of split second bit where we're both invulnerable and swinging swords at each other. But the animations are so close that I'm sitting there like staring pixel by pixel, waiting to see what's going to go down. So I spent, all in all, we spent 7 hours raiding until we finally got that boss kill. That said, we're convinced
Luigi.
we're convinced we could do it in under an hour now.
Jeez.
The thing in Guild Wars is each boss, if done right on the first shot, each boss fight is 10 minutes max. The problem is if you don't know what you're doing, you have to constantly start over. So we spent a lot of time raiding. We ended up doing the same thing yesterday. So like I didn't go to see Infinity Wars because I'm not caught up yet, and I have other friends who want to go. So I was just raiding yesterday, and it was just the same shit. I'm spending too much time raiding and not doing anything else. So that's why I haven't seen you guys.
That's okay.
But this weekend is going to be a lot less raiding because it's my buddy Dave's birthday. So we were having a party on Saturday for him. We were talking about doing an escape room, but once I informed him that it costs actual money to do them, he quickly changed his tune.
Womp
I was
womp.
thinking, what's like $5 to get in, right? I'm like 50. He's like, yeah, we're not doing this.
What's with the whole like you plan stuff and then your boy or whoever bails on you?
My boy's not the one who's bailing. It's the girls he keeps inviting are bailing.
All right.
Yeah.
Blat.
Yeah. But that plan that got pushed off is supposedly happening the following Saturday. So we'll see what's good. In terms of video games, I'm not going to promise my life is straight because I'm not. I'm probably just playing Guild Wars on Sunday is what I'm doing, and then watching Marvel movies in between. So that's probably going to be my week.
All right.
Hell yeah.
What about you guys?
Tyler, you want to go next, or you want me to?
I'll go. I'm just
Sweet.
working still.
Oh my god.
I don't know. I don't know why I punish myself by going to 2 jobs, but I do. Maybe because I like money. Maybe too much.
Don't
Oh,
we
boy.
all?
Yeah. Yeah. Also a lot of prep. Got a new player coming in tomorrow. A mutual friend of ours, Jackie. Well, I don't know, mostly an acquaintance of mine, friend of you guys.
Dude, she's cool. I'm very happy to have her. She was in the Codex Solera campaign that I so much loved. So it's gonna be fun to
Yeah.
have someone from that group back in.
No, I've known Jackie for a while, and she's really cool. It's gonna be real. I'm really excited.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of people. So I'm kind of also nervous, like already on top of the challenges I am facing. The 6th person is gonna be crazy, but I am up for the
Fuck it.
challenge.
I wonder if I should bring my webcam downstairs as well and try and angle it somewhere so we can get more people in the frame at the same time.
Maybe. I don't know. We'll see what
I don't know.
happens.
I
I'm gonna
hate
try to.
assembling my rig every Thursday, but it,
I know. I'm trying to get her to come tomorrow early, so I can
Okay.
help her roll out her character and shit.
like what time?
I don't know. I mean, I get home at like 4:30.
Because I should be home. Like, all right, so I had assumed we were dog sitting this week, so I was originally not going to
No.
telework, but since we're not, I am going to telework tomorrow, so I'll just be at the house the whole time.
Oh, okay.
So I might try and do that crock pot shit, but started it like
Yo,
noon
do it
instead of
up.
5 o'clock this time.
Do it up. Yeah. Also, so I'm doing all that. I didn't get a lot of chances to prep, so I'm like upset with myself because like work has got me destroyed. I found myself falling asleep in my car on the way home today.
Oh god,
Oh
Tyler.
no, dude,
Yeah.
go to sleep.
No, I'm fine now. I took a nap when I got home, so I'm awake now. But I was like,
Thank
man,
God.
maybe I should slow down a bit.
Yeah, maybe a little bit, Tyler.
On the other note, I've been playing God of War. Like when I get a chance, it's God of War.
Yep.
Freeman knows.
Oh my god,
Leslie and I have been
there's
playing
like
a lot of God of War.
screaming downstairs during this game. Like there was,
Oh my
I didn't even
God.
know you guys were home on Sunday. It was quiet. It's quiet, and then I hear Leslie screaming. And at first, I'm like, oh god, someone's dying. I'm like, no, it's God of War.
No, it's God of War. Yeah, what did we do? We went out and did something on Sunday, and then we came back.
Did you guys go like
I know,
a
I
comic
was-
shop or something? Because now there's a Winter Soldier action figure on the living room
Oh
table.
yeah, that was on Saturday.
Oh, okay.
We went there Saturday. Oh, and then we participated in a one shot on Sunday. That's why we weren't home. So Saturday, we went to the comic shop, and then we came home, and then we played God of War. All right, so this is how bad it's gotten. I like the game so much,
No.
and since I cannot satiate myself by buying a firearm, I decided to buy the limited edition God of War PS4.
Holy shit, Tyler.
Yeah, and it's like super marked up price, and I'm upset about it. But I'm selling my PS4 to my buddy though, who really wants it. You know what? If you can buy all these Magic cards, Tim, I can buy myself a PS4 Pro.
No, Tyler.
Yeah, well, whatever. But yeah, that's my weekend. It's always busy. Yeah, that's fine though. Tim, what are you doing?
Thankfully, not much. It was I didn't get to talk about the wedding all that much. I don't want to spend too much time, but every night we were there, I think including the night we got there, we were up till about 2 or even a little later.
Oh yeah.
And even though we got to sleep in, it was still a very long weekend. But it was super awesome. I'm incredibly glad we got to go. It was a ton of fun to see my 2 boys again.
This is in Arizona, right?
No, the Arizona one was the one we went to 2 months ago.
This is DC.
All right.
This was DC. This is the one we drove to on Thursday
Right.
night.
I'm losing
because we couldn't do
track
D&D.
of.
Wait, you guys drove that one?
Yep.
Damn.
It's It turns out it's like an hour and 15 less than going home.
Really?
Yep. Made it in great time. We actually, I wasn't even like really speeding that much or anything, but we fucking killed it. But yeah, it was not a bad drive at all. It just sucks because unlike going home, there's tolls. So it actually costs like a bunch of money for Easy Pass stuff. Which is the nice thing about going home is that you just take 80 and the only toll is to come back into Pennsylvania from New Jersey. So it's a lot less to worry about, but it was a ton of fun. We went to Air and Space Museum. We went to the Botanical Gardens. We went to a Dave & Buster's at midnight.
Cool.
We introduced Ed to Food Wars.
Wait,
God.
you showed him the first episode?
We showed him the first 3 episodes of Food Wars because he loved the first
What
one.
was his thought of the initial foodgasm?
Pretty sure he was laughing. We were also kind of tired because it was before we went to Dave & Buster's. We did that, so we were kind of tired already. But he really enjoyed it, and he sounded like he wanted to watch it more. I'm sure he forgot about it already, but I'm gonna get on him and try to get him to watch the rest of Food.
All right, that's what I like to hear. Spread the weebiness.
Oh man. Also, Freeman, you'll find this funny. So I mentioned I ordered a box of Dominaria.
Yeah.
It ended up actually showing up on Thursday, technically before the
day
release,
before it releases.
Yeah,
nice.
It showed up on Thursday, so we actually I grabbed it at the last minute along with my binders and magic stuff, and we brought it with us. And after we got there at like 1:30 in the morning, we opened all the packs.
Hell yeah!
Got some solid stuff. One of the best pulls was a foil Gilded Lotus with that sick new art. And I actually got a Lyra and a Shalai, but they weren't foil, so I ordered foils right that night. But dude, Lyra is fucking like a $30 non-foil card.
Damn.
Between that and like Mox Amber being 25, I don't know what's going on with pricing right now.
Karn is also jacking it up.
Oh god, how much does he cost right now?
Don't even know. Didn't open one, but did open a Teferi too, who's also worth some money. So if I'm bringing my binders with those in them to the shop on Saturday, and we'll see if I can maybe get some quick trades or quick sales. But other than that,
$43 on paper. What
Jesus.
the fuck?
Tyler, this is the set that came out on Friday, by the way.
And you thought my purchase was ridiculous.
I didn't buy it.
I'm not buying this card either. I'm mad it cost this much.
No, I'm saying in the box I ordered for $80 a few months ago, I opened a card and it's worth $30, one of the cards. So
that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was yawning there. I don't understand how
No,
this is a brand new standard set. Like
he's being played in modern, dude.
Unlimited print run. People just keep buying more boxes. Why are they not? If like there's mythics at this cost, people gotta be ripping these boxes open.
Oh, they are, and you see how much. Think about it this way: we're also heading to rotation, and this seems to be way better than Amonkhet or Ixalan. So this is going to be running standard when the core set comes out.
Yeah, this is going to be the big set on campus.
Because Kaladesh will finally be gone.
Yeah, the current big set on campus is going to leave.
I'm glad that Kaladesh is down. But anyway, since we're down to the last few minutes, coming up this week, Shadow of War. The episodes are still coming out because I recorded so much before I even went to the wedding. The unfortunate thing about that game is it's kind of like a MMO end game where you do stages of defending all the fortresses you've captured of the game. I swear to God, I've defended every fortress at least 5 times, but I'm almost done with the base game. And in the last session I recorded, I started the DLC campaign, which seems really fun because it's a different character with slightly different powers. So I'm excited to finally finish the base game and then start grinding in that instead of the base game, because the base game is so fucking boring to me at this point. Just because of how many times I've done these defense missions, and the tactic is literally the same every time. It's getting a little dull. In amazing news, though, I tweeted out last night. So you guys have almost certainly heard me, or I've talked about it before on the podcast, trying to get Empire Earth working.
Mm-hmm.
I recorded my first session of it on Monday night.
Oh, snap.
And it was such an amazing time playing this old favorite of mine again and reliving all these moments from like 12 years ago. that LP is going to start releasing, I believe, tomorrow, actually.
Oh,
First
shit.
session.
Hype.
Definitely going to be recording a lot of that whenever I can because I just fucking love that game. That LP is going to be really long. It took me 2 hours to beat 2 missions in the first campaign, and there's 8 missions in each of the 4 campaigns. And then there's the expansion pack, which has 3 campaigns with 15 missions each. I believe it's 15, something around 13, 15. I think they change actually a number. But yeah, this is gonna, and it's a strategy game with like slow strategy, and I've never beaten 2 of the campaigns before in my life, so this is gonna be a fucking long LP. But I don't care. I've literally been on cloud 9 ever since I started getting this working because it's just such a fucking one of my favorites of all time. And then actually just yesterday, GOG, in preparation for their May the 4th on Friday, they released Episode 1 Pod Racer, the N64 generation
Oh, God.
game
Man.
that I played a lot of. I did a Let's Play Quickie of it years
What
ago.
a meme.
I did a Let's Play Quickie of it years ago, and it's actually, it's not remastered, but it's designed, I think they like patched it to work on modern systems, which is super cool. I bought it. It was only $8.50. It was like the cost of a lunch. Considering Shadow of War's not ending soon and Empire Earth is going to go on forever, I don't think it'll come soon, but I actually might do that as my next Let's Play.
Nice.
Just to get a Star Wars thing out there. And I never beat that game as a kid because those last races are fucking bullshit. But time has hopefully honed my skills since I played it 12 years, like 10 plus, 15 plus years ago. So maybe I'll do better.
Probably.
But yeah, and I'm excited to go back to the shop because my new commander deck is officially done, minus 1 card. That's hopefully
it's very shiny.
Yes, I showed Freeman a bunch of it before the podcast started on camera, and I did the building it on camera, but I never showed the actual cards. But it's very, very pretty. I'm very excited to finally play it. And I also did like 10 or more cards worth of changes to other decks.
Oh, nice.
So
are these the ones you covered in Command Me?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Actually, there were 2, SRAM, Selvala, and I think actually Lycia had 1 or 2 cards changed that I knew I was going to change. Apparently, there's a green enchantment from a long time ago. It's 1 green, give a creature haste, and untap it once per turn for 0 mana.
Sleepy.
Yes, I know.
Sleepy.
So that went into Selvala. Anyway, that's what I'm doing this week. Saw Avengers. Don't know if waiting for what's his name? Deadpool. Honestly, might go see Avengers again. That movie was so fucking good, I wouldn't mind.
It was pretty good.
Hopefully Val and I are going to look at a house tomorrow. Maybe not, but we're just looking at houses. But anyway, we're going to end it here because we're literally a minute away from Freeman's peace out time. So.
Time for me to go watch Captain America Civil War.
Hell yeah, it's a good movie. But anyway, thank you all so much for listening. Freeman, you did the transition. Why don't you do it this time?
All right, folks. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time. As always, I'm Friedman.
I'm Tim.
As just Tyler.
And we'll see you guys next time.